The Opinionated Idiot.
Hey, what's going on? Happy Saturday. We are live here on a Saturday and on another live edition of the Opinionated Idiot YouTube show channel. I don't know. I always try to think of a way to come in a little bit better, but it doesn't matter. We're all here. We're all hanging out. I did some remodeling kind of in my little nook over here today. What do you guys think so far? I saw this really awesome sign today that says live for now, and I thought it's just such a fitting theme for what we're doing on this channel and in life. And I definitely had to get that up, throw it on the wall, and I thought it was just very fitting for the channel, for the community, and for everything that we're doing here, because that's what we do. We live for now, because tomorrow is not guaranteed, so you have to live in the moment. And I know it's kind of a morbid statement, but unfortunately, it is the reality of life, the reality of life. But what I want to do first, before I get to the chat and pull up the members and recognize everybody, I want to just read a little bit of something, because this kind of inspired me to write a little something today. And sometimes I like to open the shows with a little bit of a statement or some kind of message to reflect on. So let me just let me grab the floor here for a second. Well, you guys are listening anyway. So okay. So live for now can be interpreted as a call to embrace the present moment and enjoy life as it is, without worrying too much about the future or dwelling on the past. It has been seen as a reminder that life is fleeting and that we should make the most of every day and every moment while we still can. Living for now can mean different things to different people, but for some, it might mean taking risks and pursuing their passion without delay. For others, it might mean slowing down and savoring the simple pleasures of life, like spending time with loved ones or enjoying nature or the world around them. However, living for now doesn't mean completely ignoring the future or disregarding the consequences of our actions. It is important to strike a balance between living in the moment and planning for the future. We can make the most of the present while still setting goals and taking steps towards our future aspirations. Ultimately, the message of live for now is a reminder to appreciate the present moment, to be grateful for what we have, and to make the most of the time we have on this earth. By living in the present and making the most of every moment, we can lead a more fulfilling and satisfying life. So I want to read all that to you. And today, I was touched by someone today. I was helping a client, and I spent some time with them, and I found some things for his wife. And this is like the first thing in the morning. I was helping this client, again, helping some things for his wife. And we selected the gifts. I got them wrapped up. And we spent maybe 30 minutes together. And he took out his phone and showed me a photo of him and his wife. And she was in a beautiful gown and he was dressed in like a tuxedo, and they had a nice, atmosphere behind them, a nice scenery behind them, like inside at a ballroom or something. And he looked at me and said, "My wife is battling cancer." And that emotion hit me right away. And I started to tear up. And I literally looked at him and I said, "Please don't do this to me this early in the morning." And he saw my face change and looked at me and put his arm around me and he said, "It's okay. It's okay." So I don't know what that connection between us was. Maybe it was my servicing this client. Maybe it was just our energy, that interaction. And I said, uh, "Thank you for sharing that with me, and I wish you the best of luck." I think this statement, or this 3 words, have a lot to kind of circle into what we're doing here and what we're talking about. Live for now, because you don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. These 4 amazing people didn't know this was gonna happen. And, just stop and take a second. Tell someone you love them. Tell someone close you love them. Squash old beefs with people. Talk to your parents. I've been building myself up to have a conversation with my dad, and I've talked a little bit about that with everybody. And I think it's time. Sit and reflect on that stuff, because again, today is now and tomorrow is not certain. So I just wanted to open the show with that for all of you. And maybe some of you are feeling that same way right now. But take a moment. Take a moment and think. Hug somebody. Ask them if they're okay. We tend to forget sometimes those small things in life. So that is my, I wouldn't say rant, but my opening statement for tonight. But let's do this. Let's look at the chat and see who's in here. I appreciate everybody coming over and supporting. Let's go all the way back up to the top, because we always recognize the first person that's always here is Victorine. It's good to see her in the chat. Thank you so much. Danielle is here. Jeff Lane, an old subscriber on the Channy, is hanging out this evening. Jennifer Gilly is here as well. Candy is here. She says, "Bello." Sasha Burge is here. Hey, everyone. Chosen Rosen, one of my moderators, says, "Welcome, everybody." He's got the opinionated idiot emoji there. So smash the like button on the way in, and thank you all for being here. Appreciate you on that. Let's see. We got Unravel is here. Let's see. Hope I'm not missing it. Hey, look at the opinionated idiots here. He's saying, "Please smash that like button. Please smash that like button." AZ, one of my mods, is here. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out this evening. Donna Wilson is here. She says, "Hey, everybody. Good to see you, Donna." Did I miss someone up here? Mamba Styles is here. Mitchell is here. Good to see you. Let's see. Annie's in the house. Hello, Annie. Balvari is here. Devil Doll is here. T2014 is here. No Chains No More says, "Hello, everyone. Hope you are well." Dina is here as well. Let's see. I think I got Chosen Rosen. The Chic Antique is here. Hey, gang, my second live. Happy Saturday. Good to see you here as well. Jessica is here. She says, "Hey everyone, I have a lot of catching up to do. I passed out Thursday and missed the whole show. I felt like a loser, but I'm happy to be here." Well, it's good that you're here. Don't feel like a loser. Tsunami is here. Canadian Cat Lady says, "Hey everybody, Brian, hope your weekend's going well. So far, so good. Thank you so much." Laura is here. Laura Cooper's here. She said 100% solid. Alice is here as well. Christine Brown is here. Hello. Night Nurse is here. Thanks for joining the stream. I'm trying to get to everybody here. Let's see. Mama Style says, "As someone terminally ill, we make peace with it. We are sharing this journey, Brian, and it was a beautiful thing he trusted you with." Yeah, it still really hits me. I mean, even just to kind of talk about it or think about it. I mean, just, I don't know what that connection was, but he felt connected enough to really share that story. And that's I don't know, that when I was out today shopping, I saw this and I just said, wow, it's just such uh, a great theme. A great theme. Chloe's mom is here. Thank you so much. Chloe says, "Just telling that story hit me in a way it hit you this morning. It was a rough one. It was a rough one. It was a rough one. Yeah, spoiler alert, we all died. Everyone will. But we don't need to die by the hands of someone else. We should die on our own terms. We should die on our own terms." Myron says, "My daughter passed away in 8 from leukemia. I'm so sorry about that." I think I got Sasha. Keep Crystal. Oi, oi. Hello. Creepy Crystal. I'm sorry. Paul is here as well. Steve is here. Good to see you. Newman is here as well. Firefly says she's late, but she's here. Veronica's here as well. Wild Cherry. Everybody's kind of piling in here. D Smalls is here, says thank you. Sherry is here, says hello. Again, I recognize everybody here. I think we're at the end of the list. So let's move on with the show. Okay, there has been some new documents that have been released on the Idaho court site. Obviously, we know all the information or the motions that are going on in with Bethany Funk, that's kind of been in the news lately. I haven't shown the new documents, so I wanted to pull that up just so if anybody hasn't seen those. There's been a couple of motions that are put out. There's some other information that was shared today as well, so we'll go down here. If anybody's interested in looking at any of the documents, I'm going to drop the link here in the chat. You can go back and save them to your folder. I'm sure all of you have those saved. And I wanted to pull up the last couple of documents here that we can just look through. I'm going to have to close this tab here. Let me pull up this tab. Hang on one second. I'm feeling a little under the weather tonight, so I'm going to try to get through as long as I can in the stream. So this is a Supreme Court state of Idaho, Associated Press, television, digital. It looks like petition to wrath. I don't know what this word is. To writ of mandamus or writ of prohibit. It looks like basically the media is trying to squash the gag order. I don't know all of the legal term. Again, I'm just some idiot in my bedroom making videos, but it looks like here from what I'm reading, these are all the media outlets that are trying to petition to get this gag order lifted. So basically, when I look at that, it's pretty simple what's going on here. And it's basically motion to interviewer respondent state of Ohio, Latah County prosecutor for leave of file additional brief. So, obviously we know that gag order is in place, and this just kind of reading through this. Let's see. When the respondent recently addressed a similar matter, distinct to those of Latah County prosecutor, represented the state, the criminal proceedings, file and brief 14 days. A lot of legal language here, but it's you can see all the media outlets up at the top here that are trying to get information and get this gag order released. So we had that document there. Let's see, and I'll pull up another one here that was shared. Let me just pull up this and recognize the new member. George is a new member. So thank you so much for your monthly contribution. I appreciate you so much. And thanks for becoming a member of the channel. If you go onto our community page, on my community page, you can go over there and click on the Discord link and get into that link. I'll refresh it at the end of the show. But thanks for becoming part of the membership group. All right. Moving on from there, what's the other document that was released? So we had a motion, we had an order. Yeah, so this is a you'll just like this one. Yeah, so this is a motion to deny, and you can see all of the press here. I mean, look at all the listings in the press. So that was quickly denied. So it doesn't look like the gag order is going to get released anytime soon. So I wanted to pull that up and show that to you guys as well. And ladies, I always say guys because I'm just so used to saying that. 80% of my viewers are women, so I always have to keep saying. But if I say guys, I just mean in generality. It doesn't mean a gender thing or anything like that. I don't think there's overly sensitive people here. But if you are sensitive, I apologize. I don't mean it in that way. So we had the denial to lift the gag, and then there was another document here. It looks like more legal stuff to try to get this gag order lifted. You can see all the media outlets as well. And I don't think this is going to happen anytime soon to get any of this. So let's see if I can read through this again. I'm not a legal expert. I can't interpret a lot of this. Maybe I have some basic language skills here that I can figure out what's going on. But it says a coalition of media companies has petitioned this court invoking its original jurisdiction to seek a writ of mandamus or a writ of prohibition to vacate a non-dismissalization order issued by the magistrate court in pending criminal action of state versus Idaho versus crime state of Idaho versus Bryan Kohberger. This is court expedited the case and ordered a briefing from the parties. We also have granted motions to intervene filed by the two parties to this case. The state of Idaho, the Latah County prosecutor, the state, and the defendant Bryan Kohberger, who were also permitted to file briefs. All of the briefs we have submitted by reviewing this court and have been determined that oral arguments are necessary to resolve the questions before us. Again, I mean, this is, it looks like gag order stuff to try to get that. I'm not going to read through all these documents, but again, if you want to go back and read through this, when I have more time, I'll read through it. But I think it's just a lot of things that we've heard so far right here. It's, it's saying such orders, often referred to as gag orders, are prohibit attorneys, parties, and witnesses from publicly talking about a pending case in an effort to prevail pretrial publicity from impairing the parties' right to a fair trial. In the option, we will use the term I might get this out. I have dyslexia and I'm a terrible linguist. So dissemination order, unless gag order is to be used in the text of citing a decision. So, I mean, it's basically just a motion on the gag order to get it lifted. And if you want, like I said, I dropped the link there as well. You can go back and read these documents. They're all updated as new documents come out on that Idaho site. And there's a lot of, this is a long document. I'm not going to read through the entire thing. It's got 15 pages, but that just gives you a little bit of idea of, some of the motions that have been filed. Again, they've been updated on that site, and I will drop that link again if anybody is interested in saving that to the bookmark and reading through the evidence in this case, the motions, the search warrants that have been filed, the PCA, et cetera, et cetera. So moving on, and then what I also wanted to talk about too was this was being kind of brought up today. It looks like there's going to be hang on one second. Let me just get my page lined up here. Let's bring this open on the, excuse me. Okay, so this kind of popped up today it looks like there is a motion hearing scheduled for May 25th in 2023 in the Latah County Courthouse. Again, purely speculation. I'm going to tell everybody right now, if you think that Bryan Kohberger is going to walk out of court a free man on May 25th, you got rocks in your head. It's probably not anything like that. It may be to surround these petitions about the gag order. That's probably what I'm guessing. Again, I'm not a lawyer, and I don't really think that anybody at this point would know what this schedule hearing would be. But, just to bring something out there. So, this was tweeted out. I know Sleuthy was on it today. We had some notifications that came up about it today. We were talking about it in my Discord group, but I wanted to bring this up because I know that a lot of people out there are going to go, he's going to walk out of court in the 25th. If they were going to do that, he would have been out walking around by now. I don't think this is anything too crazy, and it's probably something referring to the gag order. They may, I don't know, because the scheduled hearing still is on the docket for his 26th hearing in June. So that's still there as well. But this motion was put on the docket. We got notice of that today. So not sure really what this is. Maybe we get some more information. I know I'll be following it in the media. Yeah, Victorine says he's not walking. He's absolutely not walking. But there's going to be a lot of people out there. You're going to watch a lot of channels. You're going to hear a lot of things that, he's going to walk out a free man because of this recent Bethany Funk information. I don't think it has anything to do like that. It's probably something about the gag order. I don't foresee them moving the preliminary hearing to a larger courthouse. I know that there has been something about if it goes to a grand jury, maybe this gets moved to another county where there's a larger courthouse that can facilitate this and actually process this case a little bit faster. I know Brian Enton was talking to a Idaho lawyer, and that was what basically they were saying about this. I actually played that video, I think, a night or two ago. I actually going to bring it back up for reference, but I forgot to cue that up. But just wanted to get that out there and get all of this kind of updated for everybody so they're clear and know what's going on. Again, I dropped that link for the Idaho website that has all the documents on it, so you can always go back there and follow up. You won't get your motion hearings here, but I'll tell you right now, if you're looking here, I gave away a source. You can go on to vinelink.com, register, put in all your appropriate information for the cases that you're looking. You can get real-time updates as well. So just something to put out there, because I think a lot of people are going to talk about this. You'll probably see some content out there that, oh my God, he's going to walk out on the 25th and be a free man. Not going to happen. Just definitely not going to happen. Let me just get this down here. Okay. What else? What else is on the what do I have else? Oh, I wanted to talk about this. I know the other night, a couple of streams ago, I talked about the area in and around King Road being very well lit up, and I thought maybe that night that area could have been, very well lit up with a lot of lights and street lights. And it's a very small area, as we know. There's a lot of houses in and around that area. I think there's a lot of activity in and around that area at all times. So what I did was I pulled up some of the body cam footage, and I want to show some of that just to be fair. And honestly, I think it could go either way that night, because the first one that we saw was, and I'm just sorry, I'm getting my video here. I got a lot of videos queued up for other shows that I'll be doing. But the first video we saw, or one of the first ones we saw, was that body cam footage of those kids in that field. And I'm going to play this. Let me just put my headphones on. And this will kind of give you an idea. Now, this is at 3 o'clock in the morning that night. So it was very well lit up in and around. On the 13th of November, have all these houses that were to the left, and then when the camera pans to King Road, you can see the house.
November, as the students were walking in a field between West Taylor Avenue and the Sigma Chi
I
fraternity.
mean, they're right there. That's in the direction of King Road.
The teens were stopped about a tenth of a mile from the rental home at 1122 King Road. That's the house where Madison Mogan, 21, her best friend Kaylee Goncalves, 21, Ethan Chapin, 20, and his girlfriend Zaina Kernodle, 20, were brutally stabbed to death between the time frame of 3 in the morning and 4 in the morning. Police said
I mean, this is all down in that area. I mean, you're pointing right in the direction of King Road.
Students who were the subjects of the stop are not connected in any way to the killing.
The time on this video right here, right now, is at 3:15 and 53 seconds. 11:13:22. 3:15 and 53 seconds. I'm going to go back. Let's actually just watch the whole video. I think it just makes sense to do that. Let's bring this back up. And it's kind of, looking back and just looking back at all of this. Let's look back. If you guys could do me a favor, just really quick. We're at 83 upvotes right now. Just go down there and smash the like button. It is free. We have 190 people watching. It'd be really great if we can get to 100 likes. Maybe I'll gift out a membership tonight if we get to 100 likes. So if you can just take a minute and smash that like button. I really would appreciate it. Let's play this video all the way through. I think it's just only fair to kind of look at it.
Campus. Let's watch.
Oscar PD, all three of you. You too.
Hello, sir.
How old are you guys? Taking out 21?
Yeah.
Okay. 19?
Yep.
Okay.
It's very cold that night too, if you notice. Look at the breath.
Okay. Is there a reason why you didn't stop back there?
Yeah.
We saw him talking.
See the breath?
Yeah.
That's
We saw him
interesting.
talking to him,
Right.
so we didn't know.
Okay, well, I yelled at you guys and then turned around because he walked up on him. I yelled at you guys. You didn't
Yes,
stop.
I have seen
I did
that.
not hear you.
All right,
Yeah.
well, let's walk back over here, okay?
Some dude from a fire or something. Someone trying to.
So that to the right is in the direction of King Road. So just behind that house. I mean, this is at 2:56 in the morning.
Is that y'all's car right there? Undercover. Well, trying to save gas. We downgraded us from patrol cars. Yeah. Hybrid.
So let's see. Tsunami says, it was 30 degrees that evening. No short dicked man was running around in that temperature. Yeah, they were all like turtles. Turtles rolling around.
Smart move. Yeah.
And there again, the silver car is here. King Road is literally just behind those trees. So that area was very well lit up that night.
Copy. Any questions?
No.
All right, you're free to go.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Question, man.
Have a good night.
You can see it here too, even just on that other side of the street, facing back towards that long field. That's all lit up as well.
Take care.
Okay, so the Moscow Police Department released that new body camera video recorded the same morning 4 University of Idaho students were murdered. Police working a plainclothes alcohol enforcement patrol stopped those 3 University of Idaho students for suspected underage drinking. Now, this occurred around 2:50 in the morning on the 13th of November.
I mean, just in an hour from now. It's crazy to think that. An hour from now.
As the students were walking in a field between West Taylor Avenue and the Sigma Chi fraternity. The teens were stopped about a tenth of a mile from the rental home at 1122 King Road. That's the house where Madison Mogan, 21, her best friend Kaylee Goncalves, 21, Ethan Chapin, 20, and his girlfriend Zaina Kernodle, 20, were brutally stabbed to death between the time frame of 3 in the morning and 4 in the morning. Police said the students who were the subjects of the stop are not connected in any way to the killings. So investigators working on the current homicide case are aware of the footage. They have reviewed it.
Look at all the lights down there. I mean, this is almost done like, this is a very brazen attack. Extremely brazen attack.
and all the details associated with it and have determined it is not related. Officials released the footage through a public records request. Authorities said they gleaned no evidence from the videos. The Sigma Chi fraternity can be seen in the background. Remember, Zaina Kernodle and Ethan Chapin had been attending a party at the Sigma Chi fraternity, and they returned home about 1:45 in the morning. This encounter with police happened about an hour later. A police report says officers stopped the students for the unrelated alcohol.
And that's King Road to the right.
Offense after they noticed the young adults were swaying from side to side and one fell down as he walked across the street. The students admitted they were under 21 and had each drunk about 6 to 8 beers. Cops are shown issuing the trio citations for underage drinking in the footage. So now this is not related to the murders themselves or the investigation. Yet it does show what some Moscow Police Department officers were doing that night, about an hour
I know.
before.
That was right here. This is 3:15 in 45 minutes.
That night, about an hour before.
So you jump back now to 2:54.
The murder.
So this here is.
It does show what.
This is 3:15 when they get the citation. 45 minutes.
Some Moscow Police Department officers. Moscow Police Department officers were doing that night about an hour before the murders took place there at that rental home on campus at 11/20/22 King Road.
All right. So interesting. Interesting stuff. Let me pull up my notes here. What else did I want to go through? So we wanted to talk about the motions. We wanted to talk about the lighting in and around King Road that night. Something kind of looking back, and I totally forgot about this, and this might be a big nothing burger, but I want to pull this up. And this was an article. I was just kind of, I know what this tied into. So I'm still looking for a photo. What I started doing was there was a photo that went around, and if anybody has it, I'd love to get it. If you could email me. If you email me, the Opinionated Idiot at gmail.com, I'd love to get this photo. There is a photo of the wall just going up to the slider, and there was some controversy or some discussion about a stain or something that looked like blood on those stones. And then there was some conversation about the electrical cord that came out of that house. I know that was a big area, and what people thought was on top of that brick wall was possibly blood or a footprint. If anybody has that photo, email that to me, because I'm kind of scrubbing through some videos, some body cam videos, and I think I have some solution to it. Hang on one second. I'm just going to take care of something really quick. Let's do this. Let's do that. Okay. What I want to do is pull up this. Okay. So here is King Road on 8/16/22. Now, I know there's a lot of foundation, not that. No. So just and it's hard for me to point because you can't see my hand. Literally just to the left of that house, and I'll back this video up, you'll see a stone wall. What I want to do first is do this. Let's talk about this first. Hang on. Right here on 8/16/22, if you guys can see my little pointer, there's your electrical cord. So the electrical cord has been there. So that wasn't something that was placed like a week before or a night before or the night of. That's always been there. I would assume, because this is August. Okay. what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the wall that I'm talking about. It's this wall right here. That's the wall I'm talking about. There's a photo out there on these top bricks right here. And I don't know if you can see my pointer, but there's top bricks up here and there's a red stain of almost like a drone shot footage of it. If someone has those photos, if they could send them to me. I tried scrubbing around and I couldn't find them. And then they talked about the electrical cord. It was kind of a collage. It was kind of a collage. But if someone has that, email that to me. I would love to see it. Because what I think it's a grease stain from a grill. And I'll tell you why I think that. Hang on. Let me kill this noise. I think it's this web body cam footage. You can see it. Let me speed this up so our eyes aren't going crazy. I was slowing things down. So I think in this video, you can see there's a grill right there. See this grill? Now, I know it's on the patio, but maybe they were dumping that charcoal over that wall or grease or something like that. I could be wrong. Again, I'm only assuming. I'm only making an assumption or opinion. I don't think it's a footprint. It definitely looks like a stain or something like that. Steve early says, interesting. Seems like a weird spot for berries there. I know there's a tree in that area. I think it possibly could do something with this grill. Maybe they were dumping the grill there. Maybe the grill was in that area at one point and grease stripped down. Let's see. Amber says, well, to be fair, I sent in 2 pictures when he said berries and the other one's at the top of the other side of the house. Yeah. Try searching Fox News as they did drone. If someone could try to maybe, Brenda says she's got it. Let's see that photo, Brenda. The opinionated idiot at gmail.com. If you could send that to me, I want to pull it up because that's what I'm trying to figure out. So I figured out the extension cord. The extension cord has been there, and I know that, or the electrical cord. I know that was part of the conversation. Like, why is that electrical cord just coming out of the house? That's been there. So we've debunked that. And I don't know if anybody has talked about this yet on any of the channels, but I'm going to talk about it. So August, it was there. So we know now August that was there. And Cecilia's saying, check my email. I'm going to pull that up. So we've debunked that. The electric cord is nothing. We know that now. I'm just going to wait for this email to come through. All right, bloodstain photo. Let's see. Live live. I think everybody's coming through now. I'm getting a couple of them. Thank you. Okay, let me see. No, so that's the foundation. There is a photo in Livy Live. Thank you for sending that. But you're close. There is a photo of that wall. It's not the foundation. I've seen it. I'll back up a little bit and see if we can see it. This wall here, it's this top bricks here. And you can almost kind of see that stain right there right now. In this little area right here. But on top of that stone, it shows a stain. It's not the foundation. The blood leaked in and around this area. It's up here on that stain. And for anybody who thought about the ladder theory, that ladder's been there the whole time too. So that ladder's actually up against the house. You can see it right there. But these top bricks, there wasn't a downward photo of them, of this corner of the house that shows those top bricks. And that's the photo I'm trying to get because I want to just scrub through these body cams footage because I think it's just been there. I think it's a stain that has been there. It was outside just on the side of the slider. Let me see if anybody sent any email. Hang on. But I figured out the electrical cord that's been there the whole time. I mean, this was back in August. Hang on one second. Same photos. Okay, I think I might have some photos. Everybody's sending me photos. Thank you so much, everybody that's chipping in. Let me take a look. Okay, not that. Not that. Oh, these are great, though. I could pull these up, too. Not that one. Hang on. Nope. I know I'm not crazy. I've seen this photo. No. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. I got it. Thank you. Who sent this? I'll just say golf. Thank you so much. I don't want to give away your whole email address. Okay. This is what I've been wanting to show. Hang on one second. Sorry. Let's say that. Great. I have the photo now. Thank you. But I think that stain has been there. And I think you can see it in this video. Bada bing, bada boom. Awesome. That's the photo I wanted. So golf, thank you so much for sending that. And let's bring this up. Hang on one second. It's this photo. I don't know if you all can see that. So there's this stain, or looks like a stain, here. And a lot of people are like, oh, that's a footprint, or that could be, a handprint or a boot print. I think it looks like grease to me. And that's why I say maybe that grill, they were dumping that grill, or I don't know. I'm just throwing an assumption out there, but definitely the electric cord, I debunked that. So that electrical cord has always been there. And I know there were some people that were actually just either talking or posting about that the other day. And I'm like, I'm going to go back and try to find this electrical cord. So that's that kind of stained area. Now let's go back to the video. Maybe we can see something. And I've been like, can you just move your body cam a little to the left? All right, let's see here. And maybe there's a little bit more when they go up the first time. All right, here's the first time. Maybe we can see something here. No, he isn't.
No one's coming to the door.
All right, let me scrub up.
Yeah.
We're going to go back up to the wall, see if we can see anything. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. To that left is actually a still of it too. It's hard to tell. Tsunami says it's on the corner. Murphy and other pups like to pee on things. That night, the pups would pee. Would have frozen. That's a good point. What's Annie saying? Annie says, we know it wasn't blood because there would have been evidence markers placed at it. Yeah. But there's been a lot of conversation about that. And I've seen it recently pop up. So that's why I kind of wanted to bring this all out and just kind of refresh through it. And I guess maybe debunk a little bit of it. But that's a solid point. I think you have a really solid point there, Annie. So thank you for contributing that. But again, I think it's a big nothing that everybody tried to make a big something about. But we'll just play through this a little bit and see if we can see anything. It's like, turn to the left, because that's like the perfect position. Just turn left. I keep going. I'm going like this when I'm watching. I'm like, turn to the damn left. And it's like, oh, wait. I think we can kind of see it there. Hang on. Just back up. Shit. I think you see it for like a split second. It looks clean there, right? Am I crazy? The grill is right there, actually, Amber. Right to the right. If you look, the what do they call those? Charcoal bricks bag is right there. It's like a hibachi style grill. Let's see. So Jennifer's saying, I sent in a few pics from Cody 107 and I was wondering if the upper deck can be debunked or not. All right, we'll pull those up and look at those since this is kind of the theme right now. Annie says, that's what I'm saying. The grill was far enough away that it wouldn't have put grease there. Yeah, but we don't know if it was, maybe they dumped it there. They could have been dumping the charcoal there. I don't know. Liz, again, I'm just kind of throwing out ideas, opinions. Maybe we think of something and see something, but it looks like the bricks are clear there. I mean, that would be kind of those bricks there. So, and let me see the photos that everybody, let's see. Let's bring up, let me go through here. So Jennifer has, yeah, this is, yeah, I don't know. All right, so I can debunk this in about 2.5 milliseconds. All right, here's the photo that we're talking about as far as so this has been kind of dubbed the red substance photo, but I'm going to tell you right now, look to the right where my hand is. This is a berry tree, red berry, red berry, red berry. It's pretty close. It probably overhangs up here as well, and that's what you're seeing. I think a lot of people thought this was blood. You can see the red berries right here. Probably what's happening is you have birds up on those trees eating through those berries, and this just kind of gets spilt out onto this deck. You know, these trees are blooming and blossoming. You can actually see it hanging over right here in the top. These trees are blooming and blossoming all year round. You know, I think that's what you're kind of seeing there. And you can see it here in the photo. The red berries might be some right here on the ground. I'm wondering what she's taking a photo of right here. In this direction. She's almost looking down. But yeah, that's the red berry thing. The blood thing on the this up here. Those are berries. You can see the tree. So that's what you're seeing there. This was interesting. And we were trying to figure out what this was today. Is this like a letter or a note, or, you know, what is this? And it looked like it had some type of writing on it. It looks like something's like folded in half, or I'll be honest with you, to me, it looks like a little handbag or something, like a clutch bag, something like that. You know, I don't know. It almost looks leather. I don't know. It looks like a leather bag to me. I could be wrong. It could be paper. What do you all think? I titled it letter, by the way. So if you're looking up, you're like, it's a letter. It's a letter. No, I titled it letter. It could be a note. It could be a note. Piece of paper folded in half or something. I think I have another photo of it too. Let me pull that up. Yeah, I got this one too. Hang on one second. This one, let's see. I don't know. Looks like maybe some writing on it or something. This looks like an edge. This here looks like an edge of something, like a piece of plastic, or I don't know. Maybe a book. So 344 JJJJJ says, I thought I remember it's a list. Oh no, maybe it's a map or something. I can't remember. Yeah, a lot of people thought that it was like a map of the house or something like that. I don't know. It looks like this. Here, let's turn it. Yeah, it was upside down. I don't know. Yeah, I did. I flipped it. It was two pictures. But I don't know. It's just odd. To me, I don't know. I can't, like, I'm keep pointing at my screen. You guys can't fucking see that. But it's just odd. It just looks really odd. Looks like some type of writing or a piece of paper folded in half. Yeah, Dina says it looks like an envelope folded in half. Yeah, that could be with some writing on it. I don't know. That kind of looks like a penis here. Or something. This looks like a D or a B. I don't know. It's interesting. It does kind of look like an envelope folded in half now that I think about it. Could be a stepped on cup. That's a good idea too. Maybe that's like styrofoam. Looks like has an M on it. It looks weathered. Bundy says, I think pee and blood might freeze slow due to the salt content. What's everybody laughing about? Looks like doodles. Let's see. Piece of food container. Let's see. Quite possible. It's like, what's that? What is that? That red thing, here. It's like, what is that? Mary says, it looks like a paper bag. If they put markers on things, I would imagine that they would tag it, bag it, and take it with them. Yeah, this did have a evidence marker. It's actually behind here. I just had a double picture. This one was upside down. And I'm like, what is that? Yeah, that's the ground. I can actually pull up the original photo that I had. Hang on. Let's see. It was this one. Where is it? It's this one. So it's this one here. That's basically, it was just the marker was cut off. So Zelda says wasted blueberries. They're so expensive. All right, it says it looks like a hole or a tear to me, like a big dark spot. Yeah, it does. Like something like, I don't know. It's weird. It's like, what is that? Could be a makeup case. It's funny that you said that because that's what it looks like to me. It looks like a small clutch handbag. Small clutch handbag. All right, we won't spend too much time on this, but I wanted to kind of bring that up and just just show you some of the things that I was going through today and going back into, yeah, it looks like a broken down leaf, and going back down into kind of looking back. Another thing that I wanted to bring up, and maybe this is a big nothing burger, but maybe people have forgotten about this. There was a report back on in December 3rd, Idaho murders handprints spotted next to evidence tape at the house where the 4 students were killed. Idaho police haven't released the crime scene and plan to continue holding the house. It says a handprint can be seen next to the evidence tape on the window of the house where the 4 University of Idaho students were murdered on November 13th. The University of Idaho students, Ethan, Xana, Madison, and Kaylee, who died of being stabbed to death between the hours of 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. on November 13th. Police haven't arrested a suspect in relation to the murder. So we know that. And this is kind of that handprint right here. Again, I was talking to one of my backroom chatters in my Discord area. I mean, look, college kids coming in and out of the house. You can see a lot of different handprints there. That looks like one here is almost sliding a little bit, kind of like this. And you have that solid print there. It looks like there's a couple more over here. I mean, you figure if that's a sliding glass door, definitely would have a lot of handprints. Could be a nothing burger. Could be a Kohberger. We don't know. So, again, just something to think about, because I think we tend, when we go so far ahead and we are so far ahead, that we tend to forget some of the things that are in the past. And that's why I like to go back and look at all of this stuff and bring it up and bring it back up to, relevancy, relevant times. And we've seen this photo, quite a few times in all these inside photos as well of, the dirty dishes, that Starbucks cup. I think there's looks like maybe they were playing beer pong or just, some cups there lined up, beer bottles. It was definitely a party house, and we know about the DoorDash bag that was inside with Xana's name on it. So we've seen that as well too. But again, just something to go back and think about. We tend to forget when we move forward so fast. So wanted to just kind of bring that back up as well. Okay, what I wanted to do is go back and play a video now, and then in a little bit, maybe in about a half an hour, I'll open up the phone lines if anybody wants to call in. When we do the call-ins, we'll do like a rapid fire type of timing session. I'll give you like 5 minutes to talk if you want to talk anything about this case. All you can do is call in, let us know where you're from, and tell us your position on where you think this case is right now and what you think overall in the case. We'd love to hear from you. But what I want to do right now is Emily D. Baker did a follow-up the other day about basically where we are up in this case and all the new rulings. And I wanted to play through some of that. And I think she's actually going to talk about the defamation case with the TikToker that was defaming, I guess, one of the professors. And she'll talk about that as well. So let's pull that video up and we'll play through some of this. Oop.
And the case has garnered much national attention. There have been a lot of purported leaks in this case. I have covered it quite a bit.
Shout out to Emily D. Baker. If you haven't gone over, amazing legal analyst. Obviously, she's a lawyer. Not sure if she's still practicing, but she has a major, crazy, amazing YouTube channel. She does a lot of live streams all the time during when trials are on, and will give her commentary about what's actually going on. I love watching her stuff because she knows the legal language and can walk you through a court proceeding as it's going on live. So go over. I'm sure all of you know her channel. I can see it in the chat. Everybody says they love Emily. We love you, Emily. I hope it's okay to play this video. Obviously, we just want to, know your take on this as well. So we really respect you.
I get frustrated by things that I feel are misinformation. And I say I feel because that's generally my gut response. Is like, wait, that's not accurate. Clickbaity headlines and stuff that is just not quite accurate, especially when it comes to a case that has not gone to trial yet. That kind of speculation really just kind of puts me sideways, which is one of the reasons that I am covering this case, because there's a lot of information that we do know, and I'm going to lean into what we do know. So we know what is at least being shared in court documents and can start to grab what are the facts as we know them. And then how do we go forward from there? Because there is an entire community reeling from what is happening. I think it's beyond a community, because internationally, I've seen people reeling from the horrificness of this crime. And so to use it as clickbait does not sit right with me. And to also maybe give people, not hope, that's the wrong word, but information that is not accurate, going, that's the thing.
See, I think this is a really great point right now. And that's where I think, I've kind of set the rules here on my channel, is keeping righteous to the case, using the evidence in this case, following it in the legal route of what's going on, not going off on too many conspiracies theories and saying that. I think, at the end, like I said, we respect the families because they have to deal with this, and we respect the victims because they're no longer with us. And again, we respect, Bryan Kohberger at this minute is still innocent until proven guilty. So we have to respect that process as well too. Let him go through the legal system as has the right to due process. So I'm glad that she's addressing this, because I think there is a lot of shit that goes on YouTube, and I'm going to be open and really honest about this tonight. I think there's a lot of shit that goes down on YouTube that people are completely wrong about. They do a lot of clickbaity shit on here. That's not true. They don't follow the facts in this case. They go off on tangents, and that's why I kind of joke around about cartels and UFOs and cocaine cowboys and all that shit. If it was anything like that, it would be major breaking news, and we would have heard about it by now, I would think. So again, I always say this: the evidence is right there. It's going in through and sorting that evidence, and then when new evidence comes in that we have privy to look at, to go through that and make our assumptions in following the case. I'm going to recognize this $9 or $9.99 super chat from Tsunami. Thank you so much. He says, silent choo-choo train, bow, chicka, wow, wow, bow, chicka, wow, wow.
Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing. Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing.
I don't know why my sounds aren't playing too well tonight. But, I'm glad that she's addressing this, because I think there is a lot of that going on. So let's keep playing through this.
We know we've got the person, because one of the things that we as humans really want and desire deeply is certainty. I'm one of these humans too. You might be one of these humans
Yep.
too. I want to know.
Yep.
And the difficult
Yep.
thing with
And I've
criminal,
said that a million times on this channel. We want to know. That's why we come here. That's why we come to the Opinionated Idiot YouTube channel. That's why we come here, because we want to know. We all want to know. We want to know what happened. And if Bryan Kohberger is not the person that did this, then we need to find out who did it. We need to find this person, because that person or persons is still out there, and they need to be captured.
law is that there is often an element of unknown. Why did this happen?
Bing,
Why
bing,
did this
bong,
happen to
bong,
them?
bing, bing,
When
bing.
things are senseless, they are that. They are senseless, and we don't know, and we don't have reason, and we don't have understanding. And it is very difficult to process that in our brains, because understanding why something happens gives us at least some sense of order in a world of chaos, because we are really just spinning around on a rock in space. But feeling like understanding why, even if the understanding doesn't give resolution, makes us feel better. And sometimes we're not going to have that early on, particularly in a criminal case. We're not going to know. It's one of the things that's really hard about the Murdaugh case. The why of it is very unsettling and very difficult, because most of us.
Let me just address this right here. Amber sent in a $5 super chat. I appreciate you so much. So let's just recognize that super chat. I don't know what's going on with my sounds tonight, but they're like super, super delayed. The video is not delayed when I'm playing that, because I had an issue with that the other night. Maybe I need to restart my computer when I get done with this stream. But Amber says, we may disagree, but I love your channel, and I'm glad that you debunk things and only tell us the facts. I want justice for the families. Absolutely. That's what we're here for, you know, to go through it, look at the evidence and sort through it. Because like I said, the evidence is here. We just need to connect the dots. And I think that's the hardest part here. That we've had a difficulty, and you know, and Emily's really talking about that, and we've said that a million times on this channel too.
Can't wrap our heads around why these things happen, because they are senseless. And so with this loss, we are going to lean into what we do know, and I am going to stay away from what we don't know. I covered some of those headlines in a previous Emily Show podcast. That's available here on the channel if you want to see me legaling in. Somebody said legalese in the chat and it caught my eye. Legaling in. Yes. Legaling in. If you want to see me leaning into what we know and what we don't know.
I'm going to turn the ceiling fan on. Hang on.
Where my coverage is, and that's what I try to do on this channel, so we can talk about the things that are at least put in court documents. They can be allegations and shade, but at least we know in the court documents, this is what's happening. So we're going to go to the subpoena first. And then we're going to go to the writ. Here's all the things going on surrounding this case. There is the underlying case. There are lawyers being hired in the case. There is a subpoena for an out-of-state witness that is one of the surviving roommates that we're going to talk about. There is a defamation case where a TikToker has said that they are a spiritual witness and that a university professor is the perpetrator of these crimes for a wide variety of reasons. Again, I think leaning into the clickbait and people want certainty.
Right.
And that defamation case is ongoing. I've covered that a lot here. It's fascinating. And then there was a writ taken to the Supreme Court of Idaho by the Associated Press and a ton of other media outlets over the gag order, the non-dissemination order that is in place. So those are the four parts as I count them. The underlying case, the subpoena out of Nevada, the defamation case, and the Associated Press writ. There are four parts of this case that we are going in on today. All right. As I flail my hands around and run into my own water. This is going to be a very smooth day. I can feel it in my bones. And by saying that, I say that it is. I am being facetious. So let's go on to the subpoena, because I saw a lot of things that troubled me with this. And again, this is one of the reasons why I'm covering this case. I am troubled that I have seen a lot of vitriol directed at their surviving roommates. These surviving roommates have been through a tremendous amount of trauma and pain and stress. Survivor's guilt is a very unique and devastating thing. And I've seen a lot of people speculating about this roommate's involvement, which is horrible. And a lot of other things that are completely unfounded. So as we go through these subpoenas, I hope that we clear up any perhaps misconceptions. And law nerds, I see you in the chat being like, that's horrible, WTF, because it's not y'all. Y'all aren't the problem. Y'all are the light spot on the internet. Y'all are hydrated. You have healthy boundaries. You drive well. You can parallel park. Y'all are the best. Some of you might not be able to parallel park.
I can't.
Mileage may vary.
I'm terrible. If I know I
It's
have to
not
parallel
you.
park, nope, find another spot.
But it's the rest of the internet. And I've seen it, and it is horrible. Y'all are a bright spot on the internet. And y'all are unique for that. And I adore you. All right. Let us get into these subpoenas, but I have seen it, and it pisses me off seeing these survivors treated so badly. Most can't imagine what this type of pain is like. And I'm glad that you can't. Law nerds are very empathetic. The rest of the internet, maybe not so much. Okay, so I'm going to redact the first page of this because it has personal identifying information. But this, you're going to have to just trust me that we can do it this way. You're going to have to just trust me that this is what it is. But I always like to show you what it is because, again,
Okay, so I'm going to address this. So 34 JJJ says, except he must be talking. There's another piece of the chat. He says, I don't know. The surviving roommates played a role in this crime. How do you know that? How do you know that? You don't know that. You don't know that. I don't know that. And everybody in this chat doesn't know that either. So if you have solid information on that, then share it. But we haven't heard anything. There's no legal documents out there. There's no reports. So you don't know that. That's a silly thing to come into the chat room and start saying that they're involved. You don't know that. You don't know that.
again, we do things together. This is a show your work kind of a channel, so y'all know what we're talking about. Let's see. There we want
So
to do
you know what happened on the
hopefully that works for y'all.
So you
actually this way might be a little bit bigger.
You called the cops?
No.
Yeah, and it's my opinion that I can talk
This
back to
is
because it's
a
my
request
platform.
for foreign subpoena for an out-of-state witness. With an out-of-state witness, it is very difficult.
I gave my opinion
We
back.
saw this in Depp v. Heard. Remember when TMZ came in, or TMZ's lawyer came in and tried to block Spicy Draco, Morgan Knight, from testifying?
100%.
Do we remember all of that? No, it is not. Yes, Morgan. There were two Morgans. Morgan Tremaine, not Morgan Knight. I've conflated by Morgans. Spicy Draco is Morgan Tremaine. When they were trying to block Morgan Tremaine from coming in and saying, is he responding to subpoena? Well, he was given a subpoena, but Virginia can't go to California and drag you into court in Virginia. They don't have the authority to do so. So they have to get a subpoena in the state where you are, because the courts in Idaho don't have authority over persons in Nevada unless they do more to gain that authority over the persons in Nevada. So in this case, the moving parties, and we're going to go through who that is and everything, in Idaho reached to Nevada and said, hey, we need to get a subpoena for this witness in Nevada. And the Nevada courts need to make sure that they show up in Idaho. People can show up of their own free will. They can be given a subpoena and show up of their own free will. But also, just being subpoenaed doesn't mean you have to go out of state. Federal courts are different. Federal. Welcome to the US. We have 1,000 court systems.
Yeah,
Federal courts are different. We're talking about just the limited scope of state courts. This is quite a problem. This happens. I imagine this happens more in smaller states.
So bring this up. Bundy says, we don't have the true amount of evidence that belongs to those who found it. And both sides are under a gag order. It's 100% true. We've said this 1,000 times over. over 105 pieces of evidence collected at the King Road residence. Over 4,000 photos and scans of the King Road residence have been taken. We haven't any privilege to that. We don't know what those pieces of evidence are. Also, the evidence that was collected at Bryan Kohberger's apartment, also the evidence that was collected at his parents' house, the quote-unquote rolling crime scene, the white Hyundai Elantra. We don't know anything that has been processed in that as well. You have multiple witnesses. You're going to have ring cams. You're going to have someone was saying the other day that there's over 217,000, which I don't know if that's true, 217,000 cameras in and around either Moscow or in the Idaho area, in that area. I'm not 100% true about that. We have cell phone data. We're going to have forensic downloads of computers. We're going to have bank account information. We have Amazon. I mean, all the documents are there. There's, tons of evidence in this case to sift through. And when I look at it, and I talked about this the other night, I look at evidence as 100% like a pie. And right now it looks like this: 95% of it the prosecution has, and only 2 pieces of evidence, which would be like 5%, have been entered from the defense. So, and it took them a long time to get that evidence together. So that's how I see it right now. I'm not saying he's guilty. Maybe they have other things. Maybe there's going to be other people that are implicated and brought into this trial that we find through the course of this trial that they are involved. But we don't know, and we will not know until those preliminary hearings, what comes out in those preliminary hearings, and of course, if and when this goes to trial.
And I imagine this happens in Nevada a lot when people get into fuckery when they're just there on vacation. In California, generally, it was county to county issues because people didn't leave the state as much that I was having to deal with, but it did happen. When you deal with different countries, it's a whole other situation. We're not talking about that today. Oh, let me scroll. So let us go to page 2, so this is a motion from the defense attorneys seeking an out-of-state witness, that out-of-state witness being one of the surviving roommates. The surviving roommate had been initialed as BF. Their name is now everywhere in the media, and was found before that too because of social media. So I am going to go back and forth probably between her name and BF, but BF is the surviving roommate. And we saw that when we looked at the affidavits that they talked about the 2 survivors, DM and BF. So with that, having considered this is certificate of Idaho judge to secure the attendance of an out-of-state witness. Having considered the defendant, this is the defense making this motion. Let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger. There we go. That's just going to have to be the way for right now. Having considered the defendant's ex parte motion for a certificate to secure the attendance of an out-of-state witness and the affidavit of Richard Bettoni in support of said motion, the court being otherwise fully advised herein, I, Megan E. Marshall, do hereby certify as follows. I'm a magistrate judge for the 2nd District of the state of Idaho, which is a constitutionally and statutorily prescribed court. In this case, Bryan Kohberger is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder, the Idaho case, which is punishable by death or imprisonment by life, and 1 count of burglary under the Idaho Code, which is punishable by imprisonment in the state prison for not less than 1 and not more than 10 years. I am the judge assigned to preside over the preliminary hearing scheduled to occur on June 26, 2023 at 9 a.m. through June 30th, 2023. That seems short. We'll see how it goes. That seems short. But for this, I mean, it depends on what the defense puts on. Bethany Funky Funk. I'm not sure if it's Funk or Funky. I'm not sure if you pronounce the E. I do not know. But BF may be a material witness for the defense in this case. For the reasons stated in the affidavit of Richard Bettoni, the presence of BF is required at the Latah County Courthouse, and then the address of the courthouse beginning at 8 a.m. on June 28th. So they're expecting that the defense will get into their case on June 28th and that the prosecution will be done with their part of the preliminary hearing by June 28th. So 26 and 27, so 2 days for the prosecution. And then 2 days for the defense. Under the laws of the state of Idaho, BF comes into this state in obedience of a summons requiring her presence at this hearing. She will not be subject to arrest or service of any process relating to matters that arose before she entered the state under summons. That is common language, because you can't summon someone to a state under like a guise and then arrest them for something else. So that's not unusual. And then they certified this document. We're going to go on to the next attachment. And this is the ex parte motion in Idaho. This ex parte motion in Idaho has not been made public on the Idaho website. I grabbed this through the Nevada courts, which took a little bit more doing. Comes now Bryan Kohberger by and through his attorney, Ann C. Taylor, public defender, hereby moves the court for a certificate to assist in securing the attendance of BF as a witness. And then they said when. Exhibit 3 is the affidavit in support of the motion. This is the part I wanted to get into.
Hello.
I wanted to see the affidavit from the defense. I'm guessing that this individual is the defense investigator. They will probably tell us. This is a first. I scanned this for personal identifying information, but I did not read through it because I wanted to read through it with y'all and go through it together. So this is the, this I am imagining is an investigator who is working with the defense. Again, not unusual. The prosecution has the, law enforcement branch that is working with them, be it federal or state or what have you. So the public defenders also have access to investigators that are hired through the public defender's office. All right. Let's keep going.
Yes.
Richard
Very
Bertoni,
true, Mama.
being duly sworn under oath, says, I'm a criminal investigator hired by the defense to keep reading, Emily. To assist in the representation of Bryan Kohberger.
Like
I was asked by appointed counsel to investigate the incident, which led to the arrest. Bryan is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder, 1 count of burglary. The deaths took place in a 3-story home. There are 2 bedrooms on each floor, bathrooms on each floor, and a kitchen, dining, and living room on the middle floor. Kohberger is alleged to have entered the house around 4 a.m. while 6 people were sleeping/present, killing 4 people in 2 separate bedrooms. The people killed were located in 2 bedrooms, one on the 2nd floor, the other on the 3rd floor. BF's bedroom was on the 1st floor. The other surviving roommate's bedroom was on the 2nd floor. BF was interviewed by police on several occasions. She disclosed things that she heard and things she saw. BF was present at home 8 hours later when police were called, arrived on scene, and discovered the homicides. During the course of my investigation, it has become known to me that BF has information material to the charges against Kohberger. Portions of information BF has is exculpatory to the defendant. BF's information is unique to her experiences and cannot be provided by another witness. BF resides in Nevada, and it is necessary to subpoena this witness because the witness's testimony is materially necessary in this case. That is the part lots have discussed. And yes, we're going to get to what happened with this. We're going to get to what happened with this in this coverage, but we need to get the underlying so we can talk about some of the misconceptions. So don't worry, we're going to get to what happened as of yesterday. So this was filed the 22nd day of March. The stuff got to Nevada this month, and then the motions in Nevada got picked up, I think, by the New York Times first. It could have been the New York Post first. I don't remember which New York did it first. Yes, I noticed that they misspelled the roommate's name half of the time in this affidavit. They left off the E on the last name. I wonder if that auto-corrected and they didn't even catch it. So they believe that some of what surviving roommate BF might have heard, seen, done, what have you, could be exculpatory to the defendant. Here's what they're going to want if they're presenting a defense. And most of the time, you don't see a defense at a preliminary hearing. A preliminary hearing is not a trial. It is a probable cause hearing, like ++, because you have live witnesses. The prosecution could put in the testimony or the purported testimony of BF through police. They don't have to call these witnesses, and they might choose not to. Now, again, they could subvert the entire process and just go to a grand jury. They did not do that in this case. It does not seem to be common practice in Idaho. It's common practice in other states to just go by grand jury. And so the defense isn't there at all. The defendant's not there at all. They get the transcripts later. and they do it by grand jury. This will be a public preliminary hearing. The defendant will be there. The defense attorneys will be there. Witnesses will be cross-examined, and they have more of an opportunity to get a sense for the case from the defense side. In the I guess calculus of strategy of how to put on a preliminary hearing, you need enough that the court binds over the defendant. And in a public case like this, you might want enough that the public understands, so they stop asking questions, perhaps, but that would be an ancillary purpose. That is not the primary purpose. The primary purpose is to hold the defendant over, to answer for what he's been charged with, to go to trial. So it is to find probable cause that the person in custody did the thing.
So I have an announcement to make. The channel just hit 3,700 subscribers. So I want to thank everybody for subscribing, coming over, checking out these live streams. The live streams are building constantly. I wish I could play my sounds, but they're all like messed up tonight. They're like super delayed. So let's see if we get a cheer. Oh, we got a cheer. 3706. 3706. The channel is growing like crazy, super crazy, and I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you. Let's do another cheer here. Let me get back to the video.
Bing, bing. Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing.
All right, let's keep playing. Let's update the big board.
Oftentimes, there is not a defense presented unless there is a very strong affirmative defense. In a case like that, that would really be mistaken identity, a self-defense claim, things like that. What the defense is going to put on in this case is curious to me, unless they're going to, because if they're just attacking the evidence, that gets done on cross-examination. So I'll be really interested to see what the defense puts on here. But they want to call this roommate to testify as called by the defendant.
Thank you.
The prosecution's probably not going to call these live witnesses to prelim. They don't have to.
It's all because of you. It's all because of the community that believe in this channel, that believe that we will find justice in this case, that believe in everything that's going on here. It's such a great community of people. We're all positive, and I appreciate it. I appreciate all you coming here and spending all these nights, these long nights with us. So it's been a lot of fun. The ride so far has been a lot of fun, and we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. It's all because of you. You make, I lay the platform, but you guys make this channel go. And listen, I'm going to be real. I'm a real person. I get grumpy sometimes. I might snip, I might snap, but I'm a fucking real person here on YouTube. I don't bullshit anybody. And, I'll give you my feelings. If it's there, I'm gonna snap at you. I might come at you, but I can be compassionate as well, because I'm a human being, and I'm not perfect. I'm definitely not perfect, but it's just it's who I am. Thank you, C. Yeah, I keep it real. I do. I don't sugarcoat shit at all. So. All right, let's keep playing through. Emily's doing a great job here.
And law enforcement can testify under oath. I went to the house at this time. I talked to this roommate. This roommate said this. And all of you are going to go, Emily, that sounds like hearsay. Yes. Emily, is that allowed at a preliminary hearing? Yes. Officers, law enforcement officers can present hearsay at a preliminary hearing.
Lee, yeah.
Instead of having
it's getting there.
The live
Slow and steady
witnesses
wins the
testify.
race.
And there are different strategies to that. And if you're curious about that, I can talk to that about when and how we would choose to have live witnesses at preliminary hearing versus not having the witness at preliminary hearing.
Throw any,
and when I say live witnesses, I mean
Annie, don't throw no UFOs at me. You know how I get about that.
It's in court not having their testimony presented through a law enforcement officer. But it can happen. Law enforcement can come in and say, this person said this, that person said this person said this, we arrested that person, this is what happened. And that's what a lot of preliminary hearings are like. They tend to be very
fake news.
Quick. They generally don't take too long. Even on homicide prelims, they can take maybe a day unless there are some really, really quirky facts. So it's just a preliminary hearing. We probably won't see more than what's in the affidavit.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
So with all of that, the defense wants, so let's take a look at the motion to quash the subpoena.
Yes.
Before we go to what the
alien
court ruled
in Antarctica
on quashing the subpoena. Let's see. What I saw online was a lot of people saying, wouldn't this person want to come testify? Well, that's a lot of judgment on someone who's been through an unthinkable amount of trauma, but this isn't the trial. This witness's testimony is
We
probably
stick to
not
the
needed
facts.
for a preliminary hearing in any way, shape, or form. And so I don't know what the
I'm going to rewind this because I think this is important. Hang on. The motion to squash the subpoena. Let's listen to this. I think this is very important.
that's a lot of judgment on someone who's been through an unthinkable amount of trauma, but this isn't the trial. This witness's testimony is probably not needed for a preliminary hearing in any way, shape, or form. And so I don't know what the defense wants from this witness, but maybe we'll find that out later. Let me just double check this one and make sure that they don't have any issue. Oh, I saw a lot of questions scrolling by. Hey, Hoaglaw, good to see you. I saw a lot of questions scrolling by about wouldn't the misspelling of the name be an issue? The name is misspelled in the affidavit, so it wouldn't be an issue. It's spelled two different ways in the affidavit, so it's one of those things where it's like, well, they'll it's not misspelled on any of the orders, but the court's not ordering this subpoena anyway, so it's kind of moo. It's moo, you know, like a cow. Okay. Motion to quash foreign subpoena comes now. Kelly Ann Villoria, I think, counsel for BF, and respectfully moves to quash the foreign subpoena. The motion is made based upon the attached points and authorities. Always makes me think of Lincoln Park. All papers and pleadings filed herein. Memorandum of facts. On April 3rd, 2023, Evelyn Grosnick, interim Washoe, that's probably the wrong way to say this county. Washoe, maybe. County public defender sought and obtained an ex parte foreign subpoena. Sought and obtained an ex parte foreign subpoena. The subpoena was issued, which was issued April 11th, 2023, and purports to require BF to appear in the 2nd Judicial District of the Court of the State of Idaho, County of Latah, on June, but not spelled June, June, 28, 2023, spelling in original sick, at 8 a.m. for the duration of the trial or when released by the court to testify in the above named case. Not a trial, this is for prelim. The items provided in support of this subpoena were an ex parte request for foreign subpoena, which contained the following: a certificate from an Idaho judge to secure the attendance of an out-of-state witness, the ex parte motion, and the affidavit. Washoe is pronounced wash-o. Okay, thank you. It's spelled shoe. It's like washoe. S-H-O-E. English is such a funny language. Wash-o. Why not just spell it wash-o then? Oh, why not? Okay, let's keep going. So the affidavit further claims that BF, whose name is repeatedly misspelled, I like that the attorney was like, and also fuck you. I closed my coffee. Whose name is repeatedly misspelled. Yes. Yes, I did. Sometimes the brain fires on all cylinders. Sometimes it does not. We never know. Hi, Fred. Dude, please don't step on my keyboard. You're gonna. Okay. All tech problems are now.
So I know there was some conversation in the chat. I think that was Zelda. I don't know longer if they're still here or not. Said that my stream is boring and that this is nothing new. I'm not a lawyer, so I like to listen to lawyers when they read over legal documents. And obviously 318 people as of right now like this content as well, because we're hearing it from a lawyer's perspective. I myself do not know how to read through a complete legal document and understand all the language. I can figure some of it out, but this is a great interpretation. That's why I played this and get us caught up to what is going on legally in this case, because some people don't understand, and myself ask a lot of questions in this. Again, never went to law school. I'm just some schmuck in my bedroom that turns my camera on and gives my opinion. So if I can have a legal expert that's been in the the legal system for a long time, read through some of this language so we get a better understanding, why not, right? So again, if you don't like it, you don't have to be here. We're not forcing you to be in the chat. We're not forcing you to watch. We're just trying to bring some positivity to this. Learn, because I love to soak in a lot of knowledge and listen to what's going on. I'm sure a lot of the people in the chat enjoy to do that too. And while this goes on, have conversations in the chat while the stream goes. So again, we don't ask you to be here. You can go. Look, that's what we do. We just hang out.
Now, courtesy of my assistant, Fred. Hi, buddy. Do you want to say hi? He wants to say hi to the chat. All right.
And I respect Emily. I respect her point of view. I respect what she does. I respect that she can read through these documents and understand what's going on and tell us, interpret it kind of in a layman's term of what's going on. So why not?
I
right?
appreciate that.
Hey, she appreciates it.
This is what I was looking for. I did not know. Thank you. Now we know.
We took care of it.
Washoe County.
We will take care of others when they come.
For,
it's okay.
I imagine, the Native American tribe there in Washoe. So thank you, chat. I appreciate that. All right. As so many names are, I didn't even think about it. Should have, didn't. I have been taken over. Thank you, Fred. Let's continue on. So the name repeatedly misspelled is something that they are pointing out. Has, quote, information material to the charges against Mr. Kohberger, and they're saying,
I'm going to get ready to open up
Kohberger
phone
is
lines
like
in a couple of
hamburger.
minutes.
Oh, gosh.
If anybody wants to call in.
That misspelling is also in the original. They are pointing out that these misspelled.
You want to call. Yeah, see, that's if you want to call. I'm going to open up the phone lines here in a second, and I'll give you the floor. You can tell us where you're calling from and give us your opinion on this. I'll give you 5 minutes to chat, and then we'll move on kind of in rapid succession. So I'll let everybody know when there's someone on, and then after 5 minutes, I'm just going to cut you off. I'm just going to hang up and then move on to the next call. So let's give it a couple more minutes here. We'll open up the phone lines and take a few calls if you all want to call in.
Spellings are in the original. Portions of this information BF is exculpatory to the defendant. These statements are conclusory without support, and there is no further information or detail pertaining to the substance of the testimony, its materiality, or the alleged exculpatory information of BF, and why it would be entertained at preliminary hearing, which is a very, very good point. Very good point. Peachy Smile in the chat is asking, can we spell check the lawyers? You can always spell check the lawyers. Just know that I also misspell things. I have repeatedly misspelled things in the titles of my videos. I tend to not give them too much of a hard time because I don't even catch them. So,
excuse me.
Zoe said sick is really underrated lawyer shade. It is great lawyer shade. Isn't there Grammarly for legal documents? I don't know. Since Grammarly came out, I have never used it on legal documents, but there was, most of my documents were published in a variety of different word programs that also underlined things in red.
See, this just sounds like something that's just talked about in the media. So I don't know. I'm really skeptical of what's going on here. So I'm just going to say that's been talked about in the media a million times.
The problem is with something,
you watch a lot of YouTube channels.
Like
personally,
a name, sometimes it will auto replace them to a word that's not the name, and that becomes a problem, and people don't even catch it. So let's see. These statements are conclusory without support, and there's no further information, detail pertaining to the substance of the testimony, its materiality, or why it would be entertained at a preliminary hearing. Oftentimes, defenses are not put on a preliminary hearing. Moreover, the subpoena was issued by the clerk of court without hearing. No hearing has been set for, BF to address these concerns. This motion follows. So, hey, the clerk did this. The clerk just issued the subpoena. There was no opportunity for hearing. We want a hearing. Argument: the court should quash the foreign subpoena issued purporting to compel BF's attendance at the Idaho
phone
preliminary
line.
hearing in this
Anybody
case.
Wants to call, I'll give you the floor.
Law.
if you want to chat, tell us
Fred.
about what you think in this case. Just let us know where who you are, where you're calling from,
Is this what you want?
and
Don't
we'll
knock
go
it off
from
my desk,
there.
'cause you're
I'm
gonna
going to give you
knock my mic
5
off too.
minutes
Here.
to
it.
speak your mind. I'll
It is
give you the
yours. Be
full
free.
5 minutes.
There
And
was
then
a
after
ribbon
5 minutes,
on
I'm
my
going to cut
desk.
you off and move on to the
I
next
see
call.
ribbons.
So phone
If
lines
you
are
hear
open.
loud crashes, my cat.
774-855-9400, 774-855-9400. I really want to try to get other people to call in that haven't called in before. So let's be a little respectful to that. I know I have kind of my regulars when we take calls, but the phone line is open. Let's try to get some new people on here. I'll give you 5 minutes. Let us know what you think.
My desk. He's continuing to.
All right, let me just recognize this membership really quick. Christine Brown has gifted a membership, and LJD3 is now a channel member here. Thank you so much, Christine. Appreciate that. My tones are way off tonight. Yeah, they're not even playing. I don't know what's going on. Something in StreamYard's messed up. But 774-855-9400 if you want to call the show. Phone lines are open, free and clear.
Shenanigan.
If not, we're going to play through this. We'll wrap it up in about 20
Nevada
minutes
rules
or so.
Govern the procedure for securing the attendance of a witness to testify out of state. NRS 174.415 in particularly this reminds me so much of Washington State. It felt like a Dewey Decimal System. Not all states do it that way. It's just too funny. 174.415 in particular addresses the process for summoning of a Nevada witness to testify in another state. Specifically, it requires the court to, quote, fix a time and place for a hearing before it can issue an order directing testimony in another state. The hearing is necessary to provide a venue where the judge, underline bold. Why underline bold? Because the clerk issued this subpoena. The judge determines that the witness is material and necessary, that it would not cause undue hardship, that is a big one, to the witness to be compelled to attend and testify in the prosecution or a grand jury investigation in the other state, and that the laws of the state in which the prosecution is pending or the grand jury investigation has commenced or is about to commence.
The floor is yours.
And
to call
774-855-9400.
I will give you the floor to call. I will stay out of the conversation. We just want to hear from you. What do you think in this case? I got my first caller, so I'm going to give this call with respect to 5 minutes. Caller, you're going to get 5 minutes. Then I'm going to cut you off. Opinionated Idiot, who do we have calling and where are you from?
I am Cindy from Florida River Fossils.
Okay.
I live in Florida.
All right. What do you think? I'm going to give you the floor. You get 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Okay, I'll talk fast. I was watching Lena on Truth and Transparency today, and I was looking for an old video. It's about 3 months ago. It's called PCA #2, Location and Language.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes through that PCA really careful on the timeline. And I had mentioned that I thought maybe the 329 to 420 made more sense, especially if there was like a getaway car. Well, she goes back to 315. At 315, he was already in the area. I don't know if there was like a driver or what, but it gives them so much time. I just don't see how they could do all that in 13 minutes, or him. I think it's more than one person.
Yeah, I mean, that's the $1 million question. That's the $1 million question right now. You know, I think it's that question, you know, that you just raised. I think that the 911 call, the time in between, that's a big question. You know, we don't know, you know, because we weren't there. Right. And I think a lot of us, as weird as it seems, and I've said this before, when I try to imagine it and just put it into context, is I try to imagine from the sense of being a fly on the wall that night when I try to put the pieces together. And I'll tell you, I've run through it a million times. I've had many sleepless nights going through this, and I wake up sometimes as, what, maybe if it's this, what if this could have happened? We don't know, you know, and I think that's why we're so invested in this, because we want to know.
Right. And I try to like use Occam's razor, you know, what's the most logical?
Sure.
and it doesn't come out to Bryan. I believe he was involved, but there's just something more to it. And this is really weird. I don't know if I have time to tell you.
Yeah,
I
you
play
got
around
a
on
couple more minutes. I'll give you the floor here.
Okay. I play on Google Earth
Yep.
a lot.
Mhm.
And I was looking up that LDS, the Church of Christ the Mormons.
Sure.
And there's another lady that have been talking about one policeman Payne, and he's got a storage building up there 30 miles from the Canadian border called Meat Locker, South Hill Meat Locker and Storage. Okay, well, I went and put LDS to see where they were.
Sure.
And it showed a ton of them up there at the top of Idaho,
Mm-hmm.
and then following a line down to Pullman. And then I went to the next state, which I think was Colorado.
Yeah.
And there's a line. And if you follow from Mexico up, from Las Vegas, Nevada, and from Arizona, there's two lines that lead straight up there, straight up to Canada. And I'm not saying they're involved in the drug trafficking, but man, they would sure have themselves a nice line. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought they were all over Utah, but it's in this line that goes straight from Mexico up to Canada.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, something for everybody to think about if they feel like they if they feel connected to that piece of maybe speculation that's out there, maybe that's something that they can investigate as well. But again, I do appreciate you calling in. Can you just say who you are and where you're from again?
Yeah, I'm Cindy, Florida River Fossils.
Awesome.
I'm a fossil girl. I collect fossils. I got
Okay,
more than most museums.
Awesome. Thanks for calling in, and we appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you. And I love your show. I love you, and you have a great night.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye-bye. All right. Well, that was a great call. Some theories there that she's got her opinions about, and if you want to, investigate some of those, you can. Again, I'm giving the floor to everybody to give their opinion this evening and maybe their theories. It's your forum. I give you 5 minutes to call in. I'm not going to interject. I'll give you the phone for 5 minutes. So again, 774, I'll put it in the chat, 774-855-9400. Floor is yours. It's your forum. If you want to call in and give us your 5 minutes, let everybody know how you feel in the chat. I will completely, stay out of the conversation. I'll give you that floor in your time. But again, the phone line is open, 774-855-9400. We'll keep rolling through here, and then maybe we will wrap up the show in a little while here. Hang on.
Procedure is followed and that burden is met, then and only then shall the judge, quote, issue a summons with a copy of the in the court where the prosecution is pending or the grand jury investigation has commenced or is about to commence at the time and place specified in the summons. In any such hearing, the certificate shall be
all right. We do have a caller.
Evidence of
I'm going to take this call here. All right. Opinionated Idiot. Who is calling and where are you from?
Hi, it's Victorine.
Hey, how are you?
Scotia. Good.
Awesome.
Okay.
Floor is yours. What do you think?
Okay, what do I think? I'm not going to take long.
Sure.
I'm just going to say that I think that Bethany being this whole Bethany thing, I think that it was, obviously other subpoenas being given out, but it was just because there was no gag order, I guess, in Nevada. So I think it could have been something simple like maybe there was a contradictory statement, or the defense did hire a private investigator. So maybe the private investigator found out something.
Sure.
And because it's exculpatory, it doesn't mean it's true. It's like a fishing expedition and like a chess move. And it could be connected to the Brady issue.
That's what I think.
Okay.
So the thing that's really strange about this too, and I really want people to go back, and I'm sorry to cut you off, and I'll give you a couple more minutes. I think that one thing that is missed in all of that, and I don't know the 100%, if I try to go back through my brain, is that interpreting what just came out about the whole subpoenaing Bethany Funk. If you read the language, and the media is very good at this too, they cut off the sentence that's just before when it says they have expulsionary evidence for Bryan Kohberger, meaning evidence in his favor. But just before that, it says we have evidence basically for him and against him. And I've seen a million media reports where they pull up that document and they cut off the sentence that says we basically have evidence for him as well. So they're trying to play this narrative like this guy's going to get out and just walk. And that's why I said, you know, in the beginning of the stream, if you think on the 25th that they have this motion, this hearing, that Bryan Kohberger is going to walk into court and walk out a free man that day, you're kicking rocks around in your head. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. And is it to lock her into her testimony on the stand?
Sure.
I mean, it's obviously, I think, changing public opinion, because I think since this has come out, people have been saying, having their doubts, oh, is he really guilty or 100% guilty? They're having their doubts. So
I think the move to, I think the move to bring Bethany in or kind of put some pressure on Bethany is because there's probably some statements that she made, again, that said that is probably for him and against him. And they're trying to scare tactic her to make Bryan Kohberger's image look a little bit better in the press.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So, you know, again, I'm not a legal expert. All this is allegedly, I'm just hunching here. I'm sure you are as well. We're just throwing our theories, opinions, and hunches out there. I'm not a legal expert. I don't know how to completely read legal documents, but we can speculate and you know, mull it over, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe there was some contradictory statements, but I mean, that's for the jury to decide and find out the truth. So, and I mean, it sounds like the preliminary hearing is going to be like, I don't know, 5 days or more or whatever.
Yeah,
so,
you're going to get a full route of probably evidence at that point. And because you have to remember, the prelim is just to put all the prosecution's evidence again, you know, out there to say, this is why we think this should go to trial. And you'll probably have some rebuttal from the defense as well. And that's where they're going to argue to say there's enough evidence or there's not enough evidence. And that's where they decide if this is going to go to trial. So,
yeah. And maybe lock her into whatever statement.
Right.
Yeah. So that's about all I have to say. But
sure.
Yeah, I love the channel and I love the chat and I'm getting to know everyone really well. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we have a very positive, awesome community here. And, you know, like I said, I always say, you all make this channel go. You all make this channel what it is because you show up on, you know, the nightly basis and watch and comment and support. So I thank you. And I thank you for calling as well, too.
Okay, well, I'm going to continue listening in and
all right.
Good night.
All right, have a good night. Thanks.
Okay.
Bye. All right, maybe we'll do one more call here before we wrap this up. Phone line's open, 774-855-9400. If anybody wants to call in, we're going to keep rocking and rolling here with Emily.
All the facts stated therein. Moreover, there's no authority for an Idaho criminal defendant to summon a Nevada witness.
Coming in. I'm going to give this person 5 minutes, let them open up and talk. Let's see. Opinionated Idiot, who do we have and where are you from?
Hi, my name's Amy and I'm from California.
Okay. Amy, you have the floor for 5 minutes. Give us your what you think.
Well, you know, I've been following this case from the very beginning. I'm new to your channel.
Okay, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, I just started watching you, I think, a couple nights ago.
Okay.
Anyway, so I'm rather new, but I have, you know, I've watched a lot of different channels. I've heard there's so many that speculate and theorize and try to blow this up into something, you know, and of which it may not be. Maybe we don't know.
We don't know, right?
that the whole thing is we really don't know, and whatever they need to do to talk to Bethany, maybe she does have something,
Sure.
maybe she doesn't,
Right.
but they need to talk. They do need to talk to her, and I think they need to talk to Dylan.
Yep.
You know, they're the only two that survived, and I'm sorry if it puts pressure on them, but they're the only two that were survivors in this case. I mean, it makes sense to talk to them, correct?
Right.
And there was something that I believe, I'm not sure. I follow Emily D. Baker, and I follow the lawyer to know.
Sure.
Because I like the factual stuff.
Right.
And one of them said that in the affidavit, it said that she saw a naked man running. And so that was part of the reason why they wanted, that was the only thing that they released. And that was one of the things they wanted to speak to her about. I think it was a lawyer, who said that, and which way that was going to go, if that was true or not, but that had been brought up. So
you said that was an illegal, I'm sorry. So I've heard this naked man theory. You said this was an illegal document that is out there?
Yes, it's in an affidavit.
Okay. If someone can call me this, if someone can send me this legal document that has this naked man theory, I'll pull it up live on stream right now. I've heard it, but I haven't seen it written anywhere. But I'm not calling you a liar. I'm not saying, because I've heard of this, but if someone can email me that legal document that has that on that, I'll be sure to pull this up. It's the opinionated idiot at Gmail.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure which one of them said it, but like I said, I used to follow a lot of different people, and there's one that you were talking to this morning or last night. I don't know if I was on the replay crew, and he's just theorizes everything and conspiracies, and the initials are PD, and I just can't listen to his channel.
Okay.
And then there's another one that he's Christian, and he theorizes, and that really kind of surprises me. And they get very offended if you go against the fact that they pretty much have Bryan Kohberger convicted.
Right.
Now, in the very beginning, when they first caught him and the way things were coming out, it sounded to me like, oh, they got their guy. Yeah, great, wonderful. But as time has gone on and all these little weird things, I mean, because this case is a very tangled web, it has become.
Of course.
And as it's gone on, and you hear these different things, it starts making me think, well, okay, just like the caller before, were there more people? Were there more people involved? Was it the frat house that really had something to do with it? Was Ellie involved? And the fact that they want to destroy the house and all these little things, when you put them all together, it just doesn't jive. So, and now with this Bethany thing. So if I would think that they're going to have a hard time just picking an unbiased jury.
Let me ask you a question. So you said that, all these things come in, and I don't want to put words in your mouth. If you can just talk about, like, when you said all these little bits and pieces come in, do you just say that people theorize, or that's where conspiracies come in? I'm sorry. Can you back up? Yeah.
It's the channels. Okay. So in the beginning, I listened to several channels, correct?
Sure. Yep.
Now I've got, okay, this is junk. So I've eliminated them, but in the process, I've listened to a lot of different people calling in, saying different things about the town of Idaho. Okay. So some of it's theory, some of it's speculation, and some of it's, what if this is true?
Yeah. Do you think it makes it sound, let me ask you, do you think it sounds a little bit more sexy if we conspirize and add all these different elements in top of it, and it makes it really juicy? And do you think there's some of that going on?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And see, that's why I quit the other channels.
Sure.
And that's why I kind of like your channel, because you played Emily D. Baker. You could get the lawyer, and play some of his stuff. Or
we have, and I'm working on a few things behind the scenes too. So
okay, because like I said, I had not heard Emily say that they got their guy until today. But the lawyer, hasn't said either way. He's just going with the facts and what's happening, and he doesn't try to put any bullshit in your head.
Right.
I don't know if I can say that line, and neither does Emily. I
Right.
mean, she just basically tells it as it is.
Sure.
So I like listening to stuff that's factual, but along the way, my head's been filled with all this other stuff, trying to listen to these, listening to these other channels that I no longer listen to.
Right. All right. Well, I'm going to go. I'm going to give someone else a chance to call in. I appreciate your call. And when we open up the phone lines again, if you want to call in, we would appreciate that.
Okay. Keep doing a good job, and I'll keep listening.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. Maybe we'll take a few more calls here. So phone lines open, 774-855-9400 if you want to call in. I'll give you 5 minutes, rapid fire. Floor is yours. I'll let you get out everything you want to get out. I'll try to not minimally interrupt you. But if anybody wants to call in, 774-855-9400. Christine Brown has gifted another membership to keep it rolling. So I'm going to try to play the tone, but they're not working tonight for some reason. I think I need to restart my computer-do-do-do-do. And Opinionated Idiot, if you can tell me who you are and where you're calling from.
Hi, Carrie Martin, and I'm from the Cleveland, Akron area.
Cool.
Ohio.
The floor is yours. You got 5 minutes.
Okay. And I apologize real quick. I just kind of jumped on just now, so
Sure.
I hope I'm okay. I have a couple of things that it just doesn't jive with me. One is they keep calling it this massive party house that they're loud and always playing music and all that. Yet, how come they just right? I think it started in September when they were getting noise complaints. And even, some of the policemen said, we've not been here before. Does that make sense?
So you're saying about, I'm sorry. So you're asking about noise.
So I'm asking, it's odd that they've had, I think, 4 times that the police have come and said it was a noise, right? But there's some massive loud party house. And why didn't they come before?
Well, probably to the point, maybe, we don't know what goes on in that neighborhood. Maybe there was some conversation with neighbors in that area and, it went back and forth a couple of times. And they said, look, if it happens again, we're going to start calling the cops. I don't know, we don't know, maybe neighbors just finally got sick of it and started repeatedly calling. If you go back and watch some of the body cam footages, there's one instance when they come back, I believe in August, and they're like, this is our second complaint today. So obviously there were people calling and maybe they just, put it off. A lot of people, if you listen to, like, even just if you live in like apartment living or neighborhood living, you might hear a husband and wife or someone, arguing all the time or whatever. People just tend to go, you know what, one of these. And they might get to a certain point where they just say, hey, we're going to call now. And maybe they've had conversations like, hey, can you really just tone it down? And they're not doing that because obviously we saw partying on some of the body cam footage that was released, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So, I don't know that. I don't know.
I just wonder if it's somebody that's been all of a sudden started calling on them. And I don't know why. It just seems odd to me. And then one more.
Sure.
The other thing is, people keep saying, well, a lot of the people like you that are, on, I don't know, we have a show, and they're saying, what, if they're going to find DNA in BK's car and he's sunk, which is great. I hope he is. My thing is, he would have had to clean that car out majorly with some powerful chemicals, and his dad rode in that car with him all the way back.
Right.
That's odd. And then they even had 2 policemen sticking their face basically into it. Wouldn't somebody have smelled stuff?
Right. Yeah, it's some good points. I think it's got some good points. I'm going to let you go. The 5-minute time is here. I have someone that wants to call in, that the chat room is eagerly waiting them to call in. So I'm going to let them call in and see what they have to say. I'm going to give them the floor.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much for calling. Bye-bye. All right. Phone lines open 774-855-9400. 3434 JJJ. If you want to call in, the opportunity is to call in now. I will give you the floor. The floor will be yours if you want to get out what you need to say. Seven 774-855-9400.
To Idaho for preliminary hearing. And this is a big part of this. Which he said, wait, the clerk issued this? Doesn't a judge have to?
Yeah,
Yes, that's exactly what they're arguing. The clerk issued the subpoena.
3434, we're waiting for your call. The phone
what
lines
you
are
can't
open. We don't want
that.
anybody else to call in right now, so we'll give you a couple more minutes to call. The phone line's open. All right, I'm going to call here. Opinionated Idiot. Who's calling and where are you from?
Hey, bro, it's C. I'm in Los Angeles.
Hey, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good. You have a great show. You
Thank
have a great, even opinion. And wherever this ends up, I think we're all going to be surprised. But I hope it lands on justice for these poor kids.
Yeah, I think you said it right when you said that we're going to be surprised. I think just either way you think in this, I think there's going to be a lot of like, oh my God moments. I really do feel that in any way that you lean in this case. And, like I said, I've given my opinion on how I feel, but I like to play it pretty straight. And I've always said that we stick to the facts here, but I think there's going to be so much stuff that comes out. Hey, maybe there is a shit ton of evidence in the favor for Bryan Kohberger. We don't know yet. We don't know what the defense has come up with. So, we have to wait and see.
There's one theory I just want to share.
Yeah,
with you,
sure.
And I've tried to share it before. I apologize if you've already heard it.
Sure.
But, and this is based off a crime that happened in Los Angeles where a murder occurred, and they had just footage of a guy leaving a building, and they pieced together cam footage for 30 miles until they were able to track him down, and he had a suitcase with him with body parts in it.
That's incredible.
These kids all went to a game on Saturday, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking surveillance footage galore, entrances, exits, everything. And I just was wondering, like, I wish a detective or somebody like attempted that method. I know it's crazy, but the reality is, you look at Corner Club, you look where the football stadium is. Mm-hmm. This is all within like a mile.
Yeah.
It's not really spread out. And I'm like, if someone really, and then use cell phone data too, really track them, and maybe you'd see a suspect or something would, but I feel like I don't know what happened up there. I think they're in their own little world, and I think I think the Moscow PD was overwhelmed in the beginning. I think it took way too long to arrest Bryan.
Right.
That's their guy. Way too long, and I don't know how they cleared the frat bros. I'm nothing against frat bros.
Sure.
But how on earth did they really clear all these guys that have partied in that house? And was it just like, does anyone know? Did they just take them at their word?
Right.
Like, we don't know anything. Yeah, that's it, man. God bless. Okay.
All right. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you.
Take care.
All right.
Sure.
Bye-bye. All right. Phone lines open. If 3434 wants to give me their area code, I know the numbers that have called in, I can call back because there's been quite a few that have called in. So just give me the area code 3434 and I will dial the number. We had a caller on the phone. You got to give me the area code. Phone lines, let's keep the phone lines clear right now. I'm going to try to set up a call here with 3434. Just give me the area code because I have it here and I can just call back. All right. I got it. I'm going to call them right now.
Hello?
Is this 3434?
It is, yeah.
Okay. Floor is yours.
You know what? How about this? How about you ask, I'll answer? Because
Well, you were doing the chatting, so I want to.
okay, but
yeah.
I've said everything multiple times, and so I feel like people have questions. I get it. I truly get it.
Mm-hmm.
But so ask the questions and I'll answer them. Whatever they want to know, I stand behind everything I say. I'm not lying. I have no reason to be here. This is not fun. This is terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
So I will answer. And you can believe me or not, but there's things I can say and there's things I can't say and would never repeat things that I've learned. And nobody needs to know them anyway. They're horrific. This crime is horrific. And there's kids who are in danger now. That's why I'm here. For nothing other than to warn parents and families to have their children watch for that. They think they're safe and they're not. There's more people involved in this. So I don't know if Kohberger, I have no idea if he did it or not. But I know he's not the only person who did it. That's what I know.
How do you know that? You say that's what I know.
So because how do I know that? I knew that I saw name in the morning. I have students over there.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I know that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to give you more than that because, I have children.
Mm-hmm.
Their safety is, I mean, trust me, we're paying for eyes over there. And it's about as expensive as their education at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there's siblings over there and people don't want people to speak. And it's hard to believe you can't. I love the police. I love law enforcement. I was taught to respect them. Even to say cop is just feels like a bad word to me.
Mm-hmm.
They're police officers. They put themselves in harm's way for us all the time. To mistrust them is very uncomfortable and was very hard to get my head around. And if I didn't mistrust them as much as I do at this moment, or in this time, in this area, in this situation, I wouldn't say it. I would never do that to another human being. I just want people to be safe. And we've had 6 more deaths since the 4 died. That's unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
And they keep saying, nothing to see here, suicide. How many, I get all of it, right? It's a thing. Mental health is truly a thing.
Right.
But come on. Let's really get reasonable. Let's start having real conversations. We've had to replace our entire Washington State University, well, no, let's give that away, police department for sexual misconduct with students this past fall. I mean, there's a lot going on there that goes under the radar because they can, because they do. It's hard to accept. I understand that. I'm not respecting any, and I would never assume it's the police officer anywhere but the ones that I know of. And I would never, ever say that. There's a reason I call Virginia when I call.
Mm-hmm.
And you can call it, and I have, you can call, well, you know who you can call. I've told you who you can call. I'm not supposed to be speaking, but I don't care because they're not doing anything about it. Do I think Bethany needs to testify? 100%. She knew what was happening, and so did Dylan. I don't think, now, let me qualify that. I do not believe those girls knew or their friends knew they were going to be killed. I, without question, do not believe that in any way, shape, or form. But they do know they were being shaken down and told to shut up. Little Kaylee was a little super sleuth, right? That was her jam. She loved that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when she saw that woman who was lost or missing, and there's a 911 report of it, even her parents have said it, her sister, I think that she figured a lot out. I think she knew a lot. I believe truly, with good cause to believe this, that some of these students learned things and were removed from this planet for it. Mm-hmm. That young man who was a junior from the U of I who died in Washington State, and the 2 are in custody right now, he's a journalist. He was on Greek Grub. He's a journalism major. What do you think that kid discovered? I mean, basic comment, right? Harborview Hospital. So I live on this area. Obviously, my children go to school over there, and I live over on this side of the mountain. Harborview, my brother died at Harborview. Harborview is not where is never, ever going to make a mistake like that. I'm sorry. Nobody's perfect, but Harborview comes pretty darn close. They would never have released that young man if he wasn't safe to go home. It was an...
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I gotcha.
I was going to say something that I can't say, but that Emma Bailey, she's involved in this. And so is, if you look up Emma Bailey, who's never been in trouble a day in her life, all of a sudden gets a DUI out of nowhere. Now, she probably should have, but I don't know if she blew that high, if she would even be talking or as coherent as she actually was, but whatever. So then a month later, she's in prison or jail and awaiting trial on May 15th, which is super quick. Wouldn't you say, from March 21st to May 15th, awaiting trial for lacing drugs that killed the boy, a young man? But if you look at her partner, Robinson, who's from Tacoma, Washington, look at his record. Look at his record in Pullman, Washington. See what he's brought to this game. See what he's delivering and what he drives. And you picked up that DoorDash order. And I will tell you this. A white Elantra sat in my driveway over spring break, and the owner of it was never once questioned. And somebody's alibi used an address where that white Elantra was. There's so many things that are so, and I'm not the only mom out here. I'm just a mom. I don't want to do this, but I want to be planning summer break. I want to be planning a graduation party. I don't want to be doing this. But how do I do that when children don't get to walk? When one of these siblings will walk with my daughter and her sister will be there, that is heartbreaking. I'm not here for me or for anybody else but those families and the safety of those children. I don't have to be here. I can afford to put eyes on my kid and walk away, but that's not the right thing to do. So I understand people wanting more answers from me, but I'm not going to give them to you. You can beat me up all you want. I'm not giving them to you. I will give you what I can give you, but mostly what I want you to know is don't let this leave the front page. Do not let this go cold. And if you have kids over there, be careful with them. If you're considering sending your kid over there, don't. 2 of mine have transferred out. I will never step foot in that town again, either of them, ever. I have no respect for law enforcement or the authorities or the schools over there. They lie to us on the regularly. Tell me why a vet and from Afghanistan, who is 38 years old, is supposedly living with 2 20-year-olds in kook housing. Tell me why that happened. It didn't happen. And I hope to God he was an informant and he's alive somewhere. I hope to God. And that may be just a hope and a dream because I don't have any other evidence. We got the phone call December 15th at 4 a.m. in the morning. The whole event, so as a parent, I got it because my son lived on that side of campus, right? Where his dormitory would have been shot at. So we get this at 4 in the morning. Meanwhile, he was there at 8:30 doing this. This whole wall was going down at 8:30. And all I hear on, I can't remember whose tape it was, can somebody get my coffee 3 times? Like, seriously? Are you kidding me? Somebody get her a coffee, get her a coat, and tell us parents what is going on. Because it's 4 a.m. And thank God my husband had come picked up my children that day, that morning. Because my son would have been in the line of fire. That's not fine. He already was in costume 13. And Kohberger was in costume 12. So who's vetting these people?
Right.
Why is that guy working IT? Who's doing this? So yeah, and I am angry. I will be very honest with you. And it's not even about, forever my kids have to say they went to Wazoo. That to me seems like the same. Like, how do you get away from that? It's supposed to be one of the best education. And actually, it makes sense that Bryan went to school there. They have an amazing criminology department. Amazing. One of my children is pre-law. Amazing department, right? Great education. My daughter is going to have a beautiful life, but you got to put Wazoo now. and not just being me being crabby, but
Yeah.
I hope Susie and Annie and all of those people. And when I say something that is incorrect, it's because I don't want incorrect information being out there. And if I know that information and I can tell you, you can either believe me or not. I'm not trying to prove myself anywhere or you would not know me if you walked by me. You walked there, you wouldn't know me. Nothing of mine everything's been changed.
Sure.
Thanks to somebody out there in YouTube and who helped me. She said, you've been found. And I was told by the first channel I went on that you've been found. Right? So, and I wouldn't be on the phone with you if I didn't trust you.
Sure.
Because you know more than most. So, there you go. So
Well,
you can ask me any questions.
no, I was going to say, I appreciate you calling in. We can hear the passion in your voice. You know, I do want to take some other calls, but you're free to call in at any time again. You know, I appreciate you and thanks for calling. And again, if you ever want to call when I open the phone lines up, please do. I mean, we all can hear the passion in your voice here in the chat. So I appreciate you calling in and sharing your story.
And if anybody has any questions or whatever, and they ask you them, feel free to call me and ask me
Sure.
at a different time or whatever.
Okay.
And I'll answer them for people.
Sure.
But and I also want to tell you, I heard your story, and I find your story to be so tragically sad, but really great because it puts you here. And you are a positive in this. I didn't even know this existed until 11/13.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So thank you.
All right.
And just keep it out there in the front lines, right?
Always.
That's all we can do.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right. Well, that was a lot of emotion, a lot of interesting conversations, a lot of interesting comments. Again, I just wanted to give the floor and open up and let you all hear. I think this is going to be a perfect way to end the stream this evening. We're coming up past the 2-hour mark. It's getting late here on the East Coast. And I want to thank everybody for contributing this evening to their chat, the comments, the positivity, the negativity, you know, everything we do here. We're just trying to build this community as best we can and, you know, keep it real. I kind of hate saying that stuff. Keep it real. But I think you all know what I mean. Before everybody runs out of here, don't run yet. Sunday show is still on tomorrow night. That's my regular night. Going to shift gears a little bit tomorrow night. And I have a stream. We're going to get caught up on some present true crime events that are going on around the nation right now. So we'll talk about that. Maybe we get into a little Idaho again, if that's what you guys want to see. My tones are not working tonight, so I'm going to work on getting that working again. Amazing. We have 347 people watching right now at 10 minutes of 11 here on the East Coast. It's just amazing. This channel and all these people in this chat are amazing. We're having a lot of fun. And just because I don't do Kohberger stuff or Idaho stuff doesn't mean that you can't come over and hang out with us, because you're missing out on all the other content that we do here as well. So come back, hang out, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button. This community is growing, and we're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to get to the bottom of all of this. We're going to play this all the way out until this crime is solved and there is justice for these victims, or in the other case, that justice for Bryan Kohberger if he didn't do this. So keep an open mind, be opinionated. I'll see you guys all tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love all of you. Thank you for joining the chat, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Reminders in the chat. I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.